Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not about titles, power, or prestige. It is about purpose. True leaders inspire, empower, and uplift those around them not because they have to, but because they believe in something greater than themselves. A leader with purpose is driven by vision, values, and impact. They do not lead for personal gain, but to create a meaningful difference in the lives of others. A leader without vision is like a ship without a compass drifting aimlessly, vulnerable to every wave and storm. Vision is the foundation of purposeful leadership. It provides direction, focus, and motivation. When a leader has clarity of vision, they know exactly where they are going and why it matters. This vision is not just about personal success, but about the collective future of the team, organization, or community they lead. It's a powerful force that unites people, aligns efforts, and drives progress toward a shared goal. A clear vision inspires confidence. People want to follow leaders who know where they are headed. Without vision, teams become disengaged, uncertain, and unmotivated. But when a leader paints a vivid picture of what is possible, they ignite passion and purpose in those around them. However, having a vision is not enough. A leader must be able to communicate it effectively. A great leader knows how to articulate their vision in a way that resonates with others. This means breaking it down into clear, actionable steps, sharing the why behind the mission, and constantly reinforcing the purpose behind their leadership. Furthermore, vision must be adaptable. While a strong leader stays committed to their ultimate purpose, they also recognize that circumstances change. True leadership requires the flexibility to adjust strategies while keeping the end goal in sight. Vision is not rigid, it evolves as challenges arise and new opportunities emerge. Finally, a leader's vision must be deeply rooted in values. A vision without values is merely ambition. It may lead to success, but not significance. When a leader's vision aligns with ethical principles and serves a greater good, it becomes a powerful force for lasting impact. In summary, clarity of vision is about knowing where you're going, why it matters, and how to bring others along the journey. It is the compass that keeps leaders focused, teams engaged, and progress moving forward. Leadership is not about giving orders, it's about setting the standard. A true leader does not just instruct others on what to do, they embody the values, work ethic, and dedication they expect from their team. Leading by example means being the first to take responsibility, the first to step up in difficult times, and the first to embrace the principles you preach. People do not follow words alone, they follow actions. If a leader demands honesty but cuts corners, preaches hard work but avoids effort, or speaks of teamwork but isolates themselves, they will quickly lose the trust and respect of those they lead. Leadership is about integrity, and integrity is proven through consistent action, not empty promises. Leading by example fosters credibility and trust. When a leader consistently demonstrates the qualities they expect from their team, whether it's commitment, accountability, or innovation, people are more likely to respect and emulate those behaviors. Trust is not built overnight, it is earned through small, daily actions that show reliability and authenticity. Beyond trust, leading by example inspires and motivates others. When people see their leader working hard, staying positive in the face of adversity, and handling challenges with resilience, they are naturally encouraged to do the same. A leader who leads with energy, passion, and determination creates a ripple effect that spreads throughout the organization or team. Moreover, leading by example creates a culture of excellence. People mirror the behaviors of their leaders. If a leader fosters an environment of accountability, collaboration, and innovation, those values become ingrained in the team's culture. If a leader is careless, disengaged, or inconsistent, those negative traits will also spread. However, leading by example does not mean being perfect. A great leader acknowledges their mistakes, learns from them, and shows humility. When a leader is transparent about their own growth and challenges, they encourage a culture where people feel safe to learn, improve, and take initiative without fear of failure. Ultimately, leadership is not about power or position, it is about influence. The best way to influence others is not through words alone, but through actions that align with purpose and values. A leader's behavior sets the tone for their entire team, shaping the way people work, collaborate, and strive for success. Thought a true leader's greatest achievement is not personal success, but the ability to inspire and empower those around them. Leadership is not about accumulating power, it is about sharing it, multiplying it, and lifting others up. A leader who empowers their team creates an environment where people feel valued, confident, and capable of achieving great things. Inspiration is the spark that fuels action. People are not motivated by mere instructions or rules, they are moved by a sense of purpose, a vision that excites them, and a leader who believes in them. When leaders take the time to understand their team's aspirations, strengths, and potential, they can create opportunities for people to shine. Inspiration doesn't come from control, it comes from encouragement, belief, and support. Empowerment goes beyond motivation, it is about giving people the tools, knowledge, and confidence to take initiative. A great leader does not micromanage or hold all the decision making power. Instead, they delegate responsibility, provide resources, and trust their team to take ownership of their work. When people are empowered, they feel a sense of responsibility and commitment, leading to higher engagement, creativity, and productivity. One of the most powerful ways to empower others is by recognizing their potential even before they see it themselves. Many people hold back because of self-doubt or fear of failure. A leader's belief in their team members can be the difference between someone staying in their comfort zone and someone stepping up to achieve greatness. Words of encouragement, mentorship, and genuine investment in someone's growth can change their entire trajectory. Empowering leadership also means creating a safe space for innovation and learning. When leaders encourage new ideas and allow people to experiment without fear of punishment for failure, they cultivate a culture of innovation. People thrive when they know their contributions matter and that their voices are heard. Moreover, an empowered team is a stronger, more resilient team. When individuals are given the freedom to make decisions, solve problems, and take initiative, they develop confidence in their abilities. Instead of waiting for orders, they become proactive, adaptable, and invested in the team's success. This creates a self-sustaining cycle where leadership is distributed and everyone contributes to driving progress forward. In the end, the most impactful leaders are not those who seek to control, but those who seek to enable others to succeed. A leader's legacy is not measured by personal achievements, but by the number of people they have helped grow, develop, and realize their full potential. Leadership is not tested in times of ease, it is revealed in moments of adversity. Every leader, no matter how skilled or prepared, will face challenges, setbacks, failures, resistance, and uncertainty. What separates great leaders from the rest is not the absence of obstacles, but their ability to remain strong, adaptable, and focused when faced with difficulty. Resilience is the ability to withstand pressure, recover from setbacks, and push forward despite difficulties. It is the mindset that says, "This challenge will not break me, it will shape me." A resilient leader does not allow failure to define them. Instead, they learn, adapt, and grow from every hardship. They see problems as opportunities for innovation and setbacks as lessons for future success. One key trait of resilient leaders is emotional stability. In high-pressure situations, people look to their leaders for guidance. If a leader panics, gives up, or reacts impulsively, it creates fear and uncertainty within the team. But when a leader remains composed, rational, and solution-oriented, it instills confidence and reassures others that challenges can be overcome. Leadership in tough times builds trust. Another crucial aspect of resilience is adaptability. The world is constantly changing, industries evolve, markets shift, unexpected crises arise. Leaders who resist change struggle, while those who embrace flexibility and innovation thrive. Resilient leaders do not cling to outdated methods. They are willing to pivot, experiment, and explore new solutions to navigate through uncertainty. Resilience also requires a strong sense of purpose. Leaders who are deeply connected to their mission and values find the strength to endure hardships because they understand that their work is bigger than themselves. When challenges arise, they remind themselves and their team why they started in the first place. Purpose fuels perseverance. Moreover, resilient leaders recognize that they do not have to face challenges alone. They build strong support systems, mentors, advisors, and trusted team members who provide guidance, encouragement, and fresh perspectives. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. A resilient leader knows when to lean on others while still standing firm in their own leadership. Lastly, true resilience is about maintaining a positive mindset. It is easy to dwell on failures and setbacks, but great leaders shift their focus to solutions, opportunities, and lessons. They inspire their team to stay hopeful and proactive even when the path ahead is uncertain. Resilient leaders do not just survive challenges, they turn them into stepping stones for greater success. Decision making is one of the most critical responsibilities of a leader. Every choice a leader makes, big or small, has a ripple effect on their team, organization, and even beyond. However, what truly defines a great leader is not just their ability to make decisions, but their commitment to making ethical, honest, and principled decisions. Integrity in decision making means consistently choosing what is right over what is easy, ethical over convenient, and just over self-serving. It means that a leader does not compromise their values for short-term gains, nor do they bend the rules to suit personal interests. Integrity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of effective leadership. Without it, a leader may achieve success temporarily, but they will ultimately lose the respect and confidence of those they lead. One of the key challenges of decision-making with integrity is that it is often tested in difficult situations. When faced with pressure, whether from external forces, financial struggles, or competing interests, leaders may be tempted to take shortcuts or make decisions that are expedient but not ethical. However, true leadership is about standing firm in one's values, even when the stakes are high. A leader who operates with integrity sends a clear message: we do not compromise our principles, no matter the circumstances. Leaders who make ethical decisions also create a culture of honesty and accountability within their teams. When employees see their leader upholding high moral standards, they are more likely to follow suit, creating an environment where transparency, fairness, and receipt thrive. On the other hand, if a leader bends the rules, engages in deception, or acts unethically, it encourages a toxic culture where dishonesty becomes the norm. Moreover, integrity in decision-making fosters long-term success. While unethical decisions may yield immediate benefits, they often lead to reputational damage, loss of trust, and eventual failure. Ethical leaders understand that sustainable success is built on credibility and strong relationships. They prioritize honest communication, fair treatment of employees, and socially responsible business practices to create a foundation of lasting impact. Another aspect of integrity in leadership is transparency. Leaders who are open about their decision-making process, who explain their reasoning, listen to input, and welcome constructive feedback earn the respect of their team. People appreciate leaders who are honest, even when the truth is difficult to hear. Transparency fosters trust, and trust leads to deeper commitment and collaboration. Finally, making decisions with integrity requires self-awareness and moral courage. A great leader takes time to reflect on their values, principles, and the potential consequences of their choices. They are not afraid to make unpopular decisions if those decisions align with their ethics. They understand that leadership is not about pleasing everyone, it is about doing what is right. Leadership is often mistaken for authority, control, or command. However, true leadership is not about power, it is about service. The greatest leaders do not seek to be served. Instead, they dedicate themselves to serving others, ensuring that their team, organization, or community thrives. Servant leadership is the highest form of leadership because it prioritizes people over position. A leader who serves understands that their role is not to dictate but to support, uplift, and empower. They see leadership as a responsibility, not a privilege. Their primary goal is not personal gain but the success and well being of those they lead. By focusing on the needs of others, they create a culture of trust, loyalty, and commitment. One of the key aspects of servant leadership is empathy. A leader who serves takes the time to truly listen, understand, and connect with their team. They recognize that people are not just employees or subordinates, but individuals with dreams, struggles, and aspirations. By valuing and respecting their team members, servant leaders create a positive and inclusive environment where people feel heard, appreciated, and motivated. Another important element of servant leadership is selflessness. Instead of seeking recognition or status, servant leaders put the needs of their team first. They step back to allow others to shine. They do not hoard credit, but instead celebrate the achievements of their team. They find fulfillment not in personal success, but in the success of those they lead. Servant leaders also prioritize growth and development. They do not see their team members as tools to achieve their own goals, but as individuals with potential waiting to be unlocked. They provide mentorship, training, and opportunities for people to learn, grow, and advance in their careers. They recognize that leadership is not about creating followers, but about creating more leaders. Furthermore, servant leadership fosters a culture of collaboration. When a leader serves, they encourage teamwork, open communication, and shared responsibility. They break down hierarchical barriers and create an environment where ideas can flow freely. People are more willing to contribute, take initiative, and support each other when they know their leader genuinely cares about them. However, serving as a leader does not mean being weak or passive. Servant leadership requires strength, decisiveness, and the ability to make tough choices for the greater good. It is about leading with both heart and wisdom, ensuring that the team's needs are met while still driving progress and achieving goals. It is a delicate balance between compassion and direction, between support and accountability. Ultimately, leadership is not about ruling over others, it is about walking alongside them, lifting them up, and ensuring they succeed. The most admired and respected leaders are not those who demand obedience, but those who inspire through service. A servant leader earns the trust, loyalty, and dedication of their team not because they command it, but because they have genuinely earned it. Leadership is not a destination, it is a continuous journey of learning, growth, and self improvement. The best leaders understand that no matter how much they have achieved, there is always more to learn, more skills to develop, and more ways to improve. True leadership requires a mindset of constant evolution, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment to personal and professional development. One of the most important aspects of growth as a leader is self-awareness. Great leaders regularly reflect on their strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. They seek honest feedback from their teams, mentors, and peers, recognizing that true growth starts with acknowledging one's own limitations. A leader who lacks self-awareness can become stagnant, unaware of their blind spots, and resistant to change. But a leader who actively works on self improvement demonstrates humility and a willingness to evolve. Another key component of growth is embracing change. The world is constantly shifting, industries evolve, technology advances, and societal expectations transform. Leaders who refuse to adapt risk becoming obsolete. A growth oriented leader does not fear change, they welcome it as an opportunity to innovate and lead more effectively. They stay informed, anticipate trends, and are willing to pivot when necessary. Continuous learning is also essential for leadership excellence. A leader who stops learning stops leading. The best leaders are lifelong students, whether it's through reading books, attending workshops, seeking mentorship, or learning from real world experiences. They do not assume they have all the answers. Instead, they actively seek new knowledge, perspectives, and insights that can make them better. They are curious, open minded, and always hungry for growth. In addition to personal learning, growing as a leader means developing others. Leadership is not just about personal advancement, but about helping those around you grow as well. A leader who invests in the development of their team creates a culture of continuous improvement. They mentor, coach, and challenge their people to reach new heights, understanding that the strength of a leader is reflected in the strength of their team. Resilience is also a crucial aspect of growth. Every leader will face failures, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But what separates great leaders is their ability to learn from failure rather than be defeated by it. They see mistakes as lessons, not as roadblocks. They analyze what went wrong, adjust their approach, and come back stronger. Growth comes from perseverance, from the ability to rise after every fall. Furthermore, leaders who prioritize growth surround themselves with people who challenge them. They seek out diverse perspectives, engage in thoughtful discussions, and are willing to be questioned. They do not fear dissent or constructive criticism. Instead, they welcome it as an opportunity to refine their thinking and decision making. They know that surrounding themselves with yes people limits their ability to evolve. Finally, a leader who is committed to continuous growth sets an example for their team. When employees see a leader who is constantly improving, learning, and adapting, they are inspired to do the same. A growth oriented leader creates a culture of innovation, ambition, and excellence where everyone is encouraged to push beyond their limits and become the best version of themselves. Leadership is not just about holding a position or giving directions, it is about inspiring, serving, and making a lasting impact. True leaders lead with vision, integrity, resilience, and a deep commitment to the growth and success of those around them. They do not seek power for personal gain, but rather they use their influence to uplift others, create positive change, and leave a legacy of purpose. As a leader, your journey is never complete. Every day is an opportunity to grow, to inspire, and to make a difference. The path will not always be easy, challenges will arise, failures will test you, and doubts may creep in. But the measure of a great leader is not how they lead in times of ease, but how they rise in times of adversity. So as you move forward in your leadership journey, remember this: lead with purpose, act with integrity, and serve with heart. Empower those around you, embrace continuous learning, and never lose sight of the bigger mission. Because in the end, leadership is not about what you achieve for yourself, but about how you inspire, uplift, and transform the lives of others.